Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Thank you, everyone. Such a nice opening of the session. I hope you didn't have too much carbs on your lunch and you won't fall asleep, and I will try so you are not. Okay, let's try to scale content operations with human and a little bit touch of AI. It's my third time actually in Brighton, and it was funny because I took a picture of myself with myself, and Kuba is taking another one, so I got for the next Brighton SEO session a slide less to work on. Okay, my name is Michał Suski. I'm a co-founder and head of innovation at Surfer. It's been 7 years we've been building a content optimization platform for all the SEOs. Besides that, I was former head of SEO in the agency where we built the product first in that agency, and privately I'm a ski builder and obviously a Brighton SEO enjoyer. What I'm going to talk about right now, the next 18-ish minutes, a little bit of the agenda. So is it safe to scale content publishing? We have a lot of content inflation right now. Anyone can become publishing thousands of articles. So is it okay to do this? It's all about actually finding the balance between risks and gains we can get from publishing a lot of new informational articles. And obviously at the end, we'll go through these opportunities, these ideas, how we can really scale content operations so it's safe, it maximizes the gains and minimizes the risks. All right, elephant in the room, obviously we got it. Is the AI content bad? And I got a source that is the most trustworthy source we all know, which are the Google guidelines. But actually this one makes sense to me because one thing Google cares is that the reader actually is happy with the result that he found. So whether the source of that information is created by AI or human, if it delivers value, is fine. And actually, we can all probably agree with that. So no matter the source, the content is more important. So what's inside? So where's the problem? The problem is in publishing frequency. Because back in the days when someone was publishing hundreds of pages, it was the sign of authority, like probably have hundreds of writers or journalists producing a lot of articles, so that was sign of authority. Right now, it's not a sign of authority, it's more like a red flag. So how often can we publish? And I got this example from aviation. Anyone knows what stall is? Is when the plane is climbing in a vertical, and it exceeds that angle of attack, so it's too greedy on getting the elevation. At some point, it stalls and falls down. And it's the same with publishing content. All right, I forgot to use that slide, all right. So it's the same with publishing content. When you start publishing too much, you can stall and your website will lose all the authority that was built before, and well, it will fall down in traffic. But what are the variables? Like, we don't know how to figure out what's the maximum throughput we can have to actually not get red flagged and not stall our website. And the one thing we know is the domain that we are publishing on. And I've got a few examples that will show you what's the reasonable amount of content you can publish and get the results. So what Google says, there is this Office Hours podcast when John Miller said, and it makes a lot of sense. If a website is growing by tenfold, the original content that was there is diluted. It's only 10% of the original content, so it's practically a new website. And if that situation happens, it has to recalculate like the trust, the authority of that website, so you cannot grow by tenfold overnight. And it makes total sense, and I got an example that shows how Google erased a website completely because it was growing too fast. So what SERPs say, and these examples from real life. This one is from Emilia Korczynska. She's an SEO and Brighton SEO speaker as well, and she's been growing the SaaS website from 150 pages to over 1,000 pages, and really nice growth over time. The traffic is there. So we all were told like 1 article a week, and she took it 10 times more. So she published 40 articles in a month, and it gave her great results. On the other hand, this is an example from one of the Polish websites when guys decided, okay, we got AI, we can rewrite our competitors' articles, and they published 10,000 new URLs every month, finishing up on the level of 70,000 URLs. And as you can see, when the helpful content update came, they halved their traffic, and after March, they are totally gone. So, well, they found the limit. I don't want you to find the limit this way, okay? The next one is an example from our website. Like, we are a SaaS company, and the website is live for 7 years now, so it will be not good to stall that website and lose all the traffic. So we need to scale the content operations on a bit slower pace. So what we did, we doubled the size of our website over a year. And of course, it's bringing good results. So I prepared a little calculation that will give you the idea of how fast you can grow without risking too much. And it's more or less between 10 and 20% growth month over month. And both of these websites start with 100 URLs, and one finishes the year at the level around 300 and the other on the level around 700. And if you put yourself somewhere in between, that's totally fine, and yet it will be growing website really fast, 700 new pages in a year. Okay, Chinese saying, what's the best time to plant a tree? That was 20 years ago. And what's the next best moment? It's now. And it's the same with scaling your content operations. If you are publishing 4 articles a month, the best moment to increase that number is literally after this presentation. So how to do it? I got actually 4 models of scaling content operations, and there you go. The human. So we avoid AI at any cost. We just hire more writers. It costs millions. If you want to hit these numbers of, let's say, these 700 pages a year, that will be extremely expensive. We got the AI model, which will be like, I'm not even reading, but publishing. So we will fall into the trap of this website that was completely erased from the search. And we got the sweet spot. And I would love us to focus on the sweet spot, because AI can empower writers, can help us a lot without risking too much, without having this stall event for your website. So these homogeneous models that are really on the extreme sides, human operations and AI operations. First, the human operations. We scale with just getting more writers on the team. It's extremely expensive. Of course, the style, the brand, the content will match our guidelines, but we will be definitely outranked, outpaced by a bit more aggressive competitors. So it's more like people living in 2010. We don't want that. On the other side, we got the AI operations. It's like hardcore SEOs trying to find the limit of publishing frequency. If that was your client's website or your own business website, well, you don't want to find that limit. So, of course, it's cheap, it's limitless, but it's really easy to overdo it and get yourself into a trouble. That's why we figured out these hybrid models, and depending on the type of the business, the type of the website you are publishing on, we will adjust those to your needs. And first we have human-assisted writing. because there are so many things that the writer has to do or the SEO has to do to create the proper brief, like extract all the entities, figure out all the talking points, generate the decent outline. It can take hours to make it really good quality. And luckily, AI is so much better at processing data than at least my brain. I mean, when I was trying to read 10 articles in the SERP to figure out what's important in this area, while reading the third one, I would already forgot the first one. And AI can really handle it well. And this is how we can empower the writers. And instead of replacing them with brainless publishing, we can get scalable quality that is safe for the brand. And, well, it has one downside, but because you can be outpaced by those more aggressive competitors, but at least you will be on a safer spot than they are. So it's all about balancing risks and potential gains. So let's take a look at this AI-centric, which is reviewed by human. We got retrieval augmented generation that helps extract the data by large language models, and then large language models can use that information to create content. So we can make a use of it, but the human just needs to be there. A couple of days ago, I stumbled upon analysis that some mathematicians proved that it's really impossible to get rid of 100% of large language model hallucinations. And if you are publishing content on your website for your business or for your client, even if it's only 1% hallucination, you can't really put it on the website, otherwise you will lose trust and your reputation. And this is where the human editor can come into play, because in 15 minutes you can read the article, you can spot the hallucinations, you can spot some weird outputs, and you can just decide, okay, I'm not publishing it, let's generate that thing again. So a human is basically reading and saying, yes, okay, publish, no, let's do it again. And this way, a small marketing team, even a one-man army, can scale content production to the levels of, like Emilia, 40 a month. Definitely that will be doable. So this one is more for like young and hungry companies, young startup that just registered the domain. They need impact. They can risk a little bit more. And why these hybrid models are better than going into these extremes of only human or only AI. And like I said, it's because they offer the best ratio of potential impact of the risk, because you know the risk, because you are the owner of the business and you know that you can risk a little bit more or a little bit less, so you adjust which way you go, and obviously the cost. So these three elements have the best ratio for these hybrid models. And a little summary on that. So human, avoiding AI at any cost, crazy AI without really looking at what I'm publishing, and these hybrid models where AI helps humans to write, and the other one is where human only review AI work. And obviously a couple of SEO tools recommendations, because, well, I'm building these tools and I think like I quite know how they work, so I will try to explain those. So first one, the outlines. So this is for humans assisted with AI. Imagine creating such a detailed brief with all the topics that are supposed to be mentioned within specific paragraphs, that are semantically correct, that go from general to specific, that lead the reader through the content. If you do it by hand, it takes ages, and you can automate that, and it will increase the speed of writing, speed of creation by multiple factor. Another one, entities and topics. It's not enough to just put keywords in the content in a random way. It's important to use them in a context that makes sense to the reader, that actually give the reader the answers for those questions that they might have while they are writing the article. And AI that is using, again, retrieval augmented generation is capable of finding these bits of information that make the reader happy with the output. So when it comes to AI that writes the copy and human is only editing, these complex large language model pipelines that extract data from the SERP, that prioritize the writing and then execute, including the style, including the writing type and the search intent. And the reader, the writer is only accepting or declining. This is one of the pipelines we are building, and it's basically create ready to publish articles that, well, like I said before, you cannot avoid hallucination 100%. So the writer is there to read and decide whether it's okay to publish or not. And if some people are still afraid, because, well, that's like nobody knows for sure, but if some people are still afraid of publishing content that has some footprints, so it can be detected as AI content, there are also tools like a humanizer that get reads of all of these elements that triggers you, like, let's delve into realm of writing AI content, right? Or fasten your seatbelts and embark on a journey. We all know this. And with the humanizer tools, we can get rid of those footprints, so the reader is not really, why I'm reading AI article. Even though it's good, they are triggering the readers, so it can result in a dropped conversion. So, can you go full throttle with scaling content operations? There are 3 questions actually you should ask yourself that are about your business and about the website that the content will be published on. And here they are. How much can you risk? Young startup can risk a little bit more than 10 years old e-commerce brand. But 10 years old e-commerce brand has a bit more money than a young startup, so they can scale their writers with the tools. They don't have to go crazy on publishing AI content. And how about the impact? Again, young company needs the impact because SEO can make it or break it in the business, while established brands only need to keep the pace of their competitors so they are not losing in the long term. And whether you know answers to these questions or you may need some help, you can come over. We are there at the booth number 8 next to the cloakroom. We will be happy to help you answer these questions. And after answering these questions, you will be able to choose the right model for your business. If you can't make it, you can scan the code. I will step back so you can take a photo and we can do it later online. And well, that's it. I hope you will scale up your content operations.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.